Hello and welcome to this video on nailing your niche. My name is Kay Ross from Kay Ross Biz, and if you've got any questions, comments or feedback, then please let me know. You can email me at kay@kayrossbiz.com. You can also go to our website at kayrossbiz.com, so I look forward to hearing from you. So, what is a niche? Now, this is a really interesting question, and it's one that many people get tied up in. Especially when you're starting a new business, you need to know who is it that you're talking to. Where are the people that you want to work with? And that brings us up to what is your niche. Now, if you look in the dictionary and you look at the definition of what is a niche, they talk about it being a little hole in the wall, like a little alcove where you can, put a vase or whatever. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the niche as the group of people that are the clients that you want to identify and to work with. And to do that, you really need to be clear about who those people are. So I'm going to assume you've already thought about that. You've already done some work on your ideal client, and your ideal client is what we're talking about when we're nailing your niche. Now, there's a lot of different people saying different things about how to nail your niche. The first thing you need to do is to identify your niche and then commit to really talking to them and testing whether that actually works for your business. Because in terms of nailing your niche, the clearer you are as to who you are talking to, the better you'll be able to reach them. Now, have you ever read something and you think, oh no, they're not really talking about me? You're not likely then to pursue it. But if you read a post and you read it and you think, wow, that person really knows what I'm going through, or I really like how that person talked about the issues that I'm facing. Now, if you can do that, then you are nailing your niche. People are more likely to respond to something that is talking to them and not a general post. So what is it that's stopping you from nailing your niche? And there's many reasons, and one of the biggest ones I find is that people think that by nailing their niche they're going to miss out. So remember, the fastest way to grow a business is to solve a specific problem for a specific group of people. So if you've got an idea about who your ideal client is, you should also know what is the problem that they want solved. So for example, if you're working with mothers of small children who need to know what sort of meals they can prepare very quickly, easily and cheaply, then that's the problem that you can solve for them. So there's two ways that you could do. One's going to work and one's not. So if you put out a post that says, hey mums, if you need help with getting meals ready for your kids, click below, then not many mums are really going to go for that one because they're not talking to that particular mum. But if you said, or you had a post that said, hey mums, have you got a 2 or 3 year old and you're so busy that you have trouble working out what you're going to prepare for meals, and you need some tips and strategies of preparing meals that are quick, easy, cheap, nutritious, and that your child will eat, then click the link below for some more information. Then those mums are more likely to click that link. So the more specific you are, the more people are likely to respond to it if you are solving their problem. We see thousands of advertisements every day. If your product is targeted to everyone, it won't jump off the page, and as a result, it targets no one. So the more specific you are in terms of solving the problem of your ideal client, the more you are nailing your niche. Now, FOMO. Who's heard of FOMO? FOMO is fear of missing out. And one of the things that I found after working with many business women is that it is FOMO that stops them from targeting their ideal client because they're scared they're going to miss out on somebody. Now, what I will say to that is, what I've already said. The more specific you are, the more likely you're going to get people to click and to contact you. Now, let's say we go back to that mum with the 3-year-old who needs help with meals. It doesn't mean that if I was the person targeting that mum, that if somebody came to me and they said, look, my child's 6, can you work with me? My answer would be absolutely. I'm not going to say no to people just because they don't fit my niche. What I am doing is being specific to my niche, and if anybody else wants to come in, then great. But the more specific I am to nailing my niche, the more likely I am to find them. So this fear of missing out, we need to remember that targeting a niche doesn't mean excluding potential clients. Instead, it's focusing your efforts on a specific type of customer which is more likely to buy from you. So when you look at the ads on TV, and do this next time you happen to have the TV on, or you're looking through Facebook and an ad pops up, have a look and see how specific is that ad to a particular population. And as you're looking at it, remember that that particular population is more likely to click the ad if they feel like it's talking to them. On the other hand, it doesn't stop other people. So if you think, let's say one of the soft drinks, Coca-Cola, when you look at their ads, they're specifically targeting young people. It doesn't mean that older people are not going to buy Coke because they know Coke, they like Coke or whatever. So this fear of missing out is actually based on a fallacy. It's the opposite. The more you nail your niche, the more likely you are to find the people who you want to work with. So when we are, and this is just reiterating what I've been saying, the more that you try to appeal to a broad audience, it weakens the marketing and the solution, and because the language gets watered down, it doesn't narrow the field. Narrowing who you're talking to, everything becomes crisper and more tailored to that specific group, which makes it easier to both sell and deliver to your ideal client. So one of the things about nailing your niche is relationship. You need to be able to talk to your audience. What is your story and how does your story work? Now, for example, if I go back to the mum with meals for small kids, if I was that person targeting that particular niche, I would talk about my story. I might say something like, look, I know exactly what's happening. I've been the mum of 3 small children, and I know what it's like to feel that you want to do your best. You want to have good meals ready for them, but you don't have the time to really think about it. You don't have the time to go shopping every day. You don't have the time to prepare, big elaborate meals. And then I could continue my story and I could say something like, now when I realised that if I could be prepared, have the ingredients ready, put things on the table that take 5 minutes to prepare, and I know my child's going to eat, that made my life so much easier. If that's something that appeals to you, then please click the link below and I'd love to share with you how I did it and what you need to do. Now that's the story of that particular mum. It's not my story as Kay, but it's a story that would, if I was that mum and been through that specific issue, then I would use that story. So what is your story? How can you tell your story to help solve the problem of your ideal client? So your story is unique. Telling your story is one way of sharing who you are. Clients are drawn to people who they know. So when you're telling a story, people get to know you. Who you are is a culmination of your life experience, skills and knowledge. So if I'm able to talk to my ideal client and tell the story of how I got to where I am and how that story relates to where they are at the moment, then they're more likely to be interested in getting to know me. As people get to know me, they're more likely to buy from me. It was interesting, I was reading the other day where somebody had asked, would you buy from somebody you don't know? And the overwhelming response in this group was, no, I wouldn't. I need to know who the person is before I buy from them. the way to get people to know who you are is to tell your story. So how can you let your potential clients know you? That is the question. How are you contacting your potential clients? How are they getting to know you? Now, for me, it is doing these videos. This is one way that my potential clients are getting to know me. They listen to me in some of the videos. They can see me in others. They've got videos like this one, and all of them are letting people know who I am. So the niche challenge, I've actually run a challenge in the past, and at the moment it is closed. But if you would like your own one-on-one niche challenge, then I've got a 5-week niche challenge ready. So if you would like more information, you can click the link or go to bookme.name/kross/niche-challenge, and you'll get more information on having your own niche challenge and where you can work with me one-on-one. If you want more information, then you can go to my website down the bottom, krossbiz.com, or email me k@krossbiz.com, and I'd love to meet you on your very own challenge. So thanks very much, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye.